Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are right now. Thank you so much for watching my video. I'm so grateful to have you each time on here. And if today is the first time you are watching my video, thank you so much. Please try and subscribe and also share it to as many people as possible so that we can all learn together. My name is Yussuf Bouda, and once again, thank you so much. So today I want us to talk about block work and specifically how to calculate for your blocks for your fence wall. I've gotten this question so many times, people asking, how do I know that the number of blocks that my mason is requesting for my fence wall is accurate or not? So that's exactly what I want us to talk about. Now, before we even get to that, you need to understand that we have different types of blocks. We have the hollow blocks, we have the solid. And even whether hollow or solid, we also have 6 inches block, we have 5 inches block. Now, each and every one of them has a way that we calculate, but that is not what we are looking at right now. We just want to know whether it is solid or it is hollow. We want to know the number of blocks for a specific plot of land. Now, in Ghana, most of the single plots we have is usually 70 by 100 or 70 by 80, 70 by 90. But all in all, the calculation is pretty much the same. So if we go through this one, I'm sure even if your land is quite different, you'll be able to find a way of calculating it. But then let's start with this. Now, imagine your plot of land is 100 by 70 or 70 by 100, and you want to fence it, whether you've built your building on it already or you are yet to build. You've acquired the land. You've done all the necessary checks. You've done all the necessary paperwork. Now the land is yours. You want to go ahead and fence it. What do you do? How do you know the number of blocks you need to fence that piece of land? And that's what I want to teach you today. So come with me. Now, like I said, imagine your plot of land is 70 by 100. 70 by 100. How do you go ahead to work with that? Now, we want to first get to calculate the perimeter around. And the perimeter simply is the distance around your plot of land. Obviously, if you are going to build it, you are going to build a fence wall, you are going to put it on your boundary. So we are going to calculate that boundary all around. That's what we are looking at, and that is what basically explains perimeter. Now, how do you calculate this perimeter? It's simple. If you have this piece of land, 70 by 100, what you need to do is to give it a number. So we say here is 1, here is 2, here is 3, and this place is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That is what is representing your perimeter. So to calculate perimeter is simply 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. So you take your 1, which is 70, plus your 2, which is 100, plus 3, which is another 70, plus 4, which is 100. And this should total what? 340. Now mark this figure down because it's very important. 340. Now somebody will say, what if my land is not the same? What if one side is longer than the other? It's still the same calculation. If here is say 80, here is 100, maybe here is, let's say, 60, and here is equally 100. It's the same thing. That is why we are using these 1, 2, 3, 4 to calculate. Now, there is another formula, which is length plus your breadth or width, all times 2. It should give you the same thing. But the reason I don't like using this one is because it gives you this problem where you have different sizes for the length and breadth. All of them are different. So if you use that calculation, you might get it wrong. So the simple way is just to assign numbers to it and add them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, you assign numbers to it and then you simply add them. And in this case, since we are using 70 by 100, we are going to get this, which is 340. Now, we now have the perimeter around your land, which is 370. We want to calculate how many blocks you will need to fence that space. All right. Typically, we know that we have various types of blocks. We have in Ghana here, the standard blocks is usually 16 inches or 18 inches. And that is the length of the block. So let's use this. My drawing is a bit sketchy, so let's just take this one for it. Let's take this as a typical block. All right. Now, the longer side of it is what we are talking about. The longer side. So that longer side can be 16 or it can be 18. 16 or 18. And then the height is usually 8 inches. The height always, in most cases is 8 inches. It is this place that we always have an issue with. So if you hear somebody say the block is 6 inches or the block is 5 inches, they are usually talking about the width. That's from here to here. It's 5 inches or is 6 inches. That is because they are looking at the thickness of the block. Okay, so if you are building something like a story building, we usually use 6 inches to do the footing, and in most cases, the first floor or the ground floor, you use 16 inches because you want it to be thick. You want the footings of the building to be stronger. So we use the 6 inches. Then when you go up, you reduce it to maybe 5 inches because at that time, you want to reduce the weight that the building is going to carry. So as you go higher, you reduce it. You don't continue to use the 6 inches, but rather use 5 inches so that as it goes up, the weight of the building will reduce for your columns that are down to be able to carry. But that's for a different topic. We are looking at block work today. Now, this block as it stands, in most cases, like I said, is 18 or 16 inches. But for the benefit of this tutorial, we're going to use 18 inches. 18 inches, you have to convert it into feet because this here is in feet. When you buy your land, they tell you it's 70 by 100. It is 70 by 100 feet. That's what they are talking about. So this here is in feet. So we want to convert this 18 inches into feet. And if you go on Google or you go to your calculator or any conversion table, 18 inches would roughly convert into 18 would convert into, let's say, 1.6 feet. 18 inches will be 1.6 feet. So with your 1.6 feet now, you simply divide it by this, or you divide the 340 by your 1.6. So if you divide 340 by 1.6, you are going to get something within the neighborhood of, let's say, 212.5. 212.5 is the number of blocks. The number of blocks you need to do one course around this plot of land. Just one course. You would need 212.5. So we can just say 213 blocks to do one course all around. So if you want to do 5 courses, you multiply it by the 212 or 213 in this case. If you want to do 10, you multiply. So if it is going up 10 courses, it all depends on you. But typically, we will do 2 courses down in the foundation, and then we add 8 more. So a typical fence wall for 100 by 70, you multiply this by 10, and that is the number of courses from your foundation all the way to the top, 8 courses. This should give you 2,125 blocks. 2,125 blocks. 2125 blocks. So I'm repeating it again. To fence a 70 by 100, you will need at least 2,125 blocks. Now, the reason we are taking absolute figures, which is 2,125, is because along the line, some of the blocks will break. I know somebody's asking, so what happens to the gate? You know, we'll do a gate, and so that space, what do we do with that space? I mean, you can calculate for it simply by, if that gate is, say, 14 feet. The only thing you do is to subtract 14 from this, and then you use that, you do this calculation. The answer that you get, you divide it by 1.6. But I would prefer to use this 2,125 because along the line, some of the blocks would break. Along the line, you need some of the blocks to do other things. So you add that number to take care of wastage and other contingencies. All right. So that is what you will get if you are fencing 100 by 70 plot of land. And the total number is 2,125 blocks. If your plot of land is irregular, and like I was saying earlier, maybe here is, say, 50. You have here to be, let's say, 80. Here is probably 90. And let's leave here to be, say, 100. Obviously, the drawings won't be the same, but this is just an example. It's going to be the same thing. You put here 50. And then this one becomes 93. Here becomes 80. And then here is 100. So what would this be? This one is going to be 180. 180 plus 90 is let's say 270. 270 plus 50. That will be 320. That's if my math is correct. Let's do this again. This plus this is 190. You add 80 to 190. You are going to get 270. 270, you add 50 to it. Yes, you are going to get 320 feet. And then this is what you divide by 1.6. And remember that the first division, which is this, is the first course all round. It tells you the number of blocks you need to do the first course. Then after, you will decide if you want to do 10 courses, you want to do 12 courses, you want to do 5 courses. That is up to you to do. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, please put it down in the comment section. I'll definitely attend to you. If this is the first time you're watching my video, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. And I thank each and every one of you who watch our videos every time we drop. I know that we don't drop videos as much as we are supposed to, but we'll try and do more for you. Now, if you have any question or you have any topic you want us to discuss, please try and send it to us under the comment section. We are quick and we are ready to answer your questions. And like I said, if today is the first time you are watching our videos, thank you so much. Please try and subscribe, because it's those subscriptions that motivates us to do more. It is those subscriptions that tells us that people are interested in the videos we put out there, and so we should do more. So thank you so much. My name is Yussuf, and I'm most grateful. I'm out. Bye-bye.